e agora vamos ter o privilégio de ter connosco pessoas que ajudam a fazer perdurar o espírito e a missão de Desmond Tutu. Vamos ter aqui três VSPs, representantes da Tutu Foundation UK. So, a round of applause to John Battersby, Clive Conway and kheron Gilpin. Please come to the stage.
Very warm welcome from the Tutu Foundation UK. I'm not John Battersby, he's coming on next, followed by kheron. I'm the chair of the Tutu Foundation. For the last 11 years of Desmond's life, he and I were in constant communication. And when his granddaughter came over to London to study at the School of Oriental and African Studies to do her master's, I asked my son to look after her that night when she arrived. You'd take her to a disco or something. And he took this job very seriously, and they ended up getting married. So Mungi is now my granddaughter. In fact, they're all in South Africa celebrating their marriage because during COVID they couldn't invite anybody. And Mungi wrote a book which is really, really good, called Everyday Ubuntu, and I recommend it. And so Desmond was just amazing. We used to email each other every month for the last 10 years of his life at least, and he just made you feel so important. Our big work at the Tutu Foundation in London is Ubuntu roundtables, bringing together underprivileged young people with the police, and it works very well. I'm going to introduce you to John and then to kheron.
Bom dia. Olá. I have to start by saying that I am feeling quite overwhelmed by the energy in this room and by being connected to so many people who I'm very happy to be connected to, in the spirit of Ubuntu. I assist Clive at the Tutu Foundation UK in building bridges with like-minded organizations and holding seminars and so forth. But kheron Gilpin, who is going to speak after me, is the Mr. Ubuntu. He's the facilitator of the Ubuntu roundtables, and he'll tell you more about that. My background is that although I'm now living in the UK for the last couple of decades, I'm actually from South Africa. So it is even more overwhelming to come to a huge audience like this and to see, first of all, everybody wearing T-shirts with Nelson Mandela's prison number. It's extraordinary. And also, of course, to be in the land of Ubuntu, it seems, that we're in here, which, of course, was embodied by the Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who you've just seen in that video. My background is as a journalist and a newspaper editor, and I first interviewed the Archbishop in 1974, exactly 49 years ago, and many times during his life. But my task here now is just to explain, Clive Conway, who is the chair and founder of the Tutu Foundation UK, we are related to the parent foundation in South Africa. Unfortunately, the chief executive, Janet Jobson, who recently took over as the head of the foundation in South Africa, was not able to travel, but she has sent a message which I'm going to read to you now. So Janet says, and she specifically wrote this message for the conference today. She says, one of the great lessons that the Archbishop left us with is to lean into each other, to embrace our common humanity. and to find ways to engage deeply across lines of difference and divides. In a time where polarization and inequality are growing in their influence on our societies, the call for Ubuntu is more powerful and more necessary than ever before. By modeling and living Ubuntu every day, we can each carry forward the legacy of the Archbishop. We must never forget that across the world every day, there are wonderful human beings driving change, standing up against injustice with courage, speaking truth to power, and collectively growing a new spirit of shared humanity and global solidarity. The Archbishop said that the tidal wave of change is made up of 1 million ripples. You know ripples, like when you throw a stone into a pond and it ripples out. May each and every one of us be a ripple for change wherever we are. That's the message from Janet Jobson. And in conclusion, I just want to offer a sincere thanks to Rui Marques, who I met virtually in 2020 at this conference, which was not live like it is tonight with all this energy in the room, but was held online. And that's when we met. I knew I would see Rui again, and I also knew that I was in the presence of greatness. And we had breakfast with him this morning, and that was confirmed in my mind. So I'm now going to introduce kheron Gilpin, who we call him Mr. Ubuntu. He is the convener and the facilitator of the Ubuntu roundtables in South Africa, which he's going to tell you about, amongst other things. Thank you very much.
Hola! When I say "oo," you say "buntu." "Oo"? "Oo"? That feels empowering. Thank you. Wow. So, I am inspired. Oh my, one moment. The energy in this room is just mind-blowing, and I absolutely love it. I believe that education is the foundation upon which we build our futures. And what Ubuntu Leaders Academy is doing is absolutely transforming our world. And that is something to be proud of. It's so powerful. And everyone that is connected to the Ubuntu Leaders Academy, I want to celebrate you. I want to thank you. Every little act of kindness that you do day to day, every little gesture of appreciation and gratitude is not so little. It is a part of a global effort of making the world a better place. We are world changers. Give yourselves a round of applause for that. Yes. So, I'm going to very briefly share what's happening in the UK, tell you about what Ubuntu means to me, and then just wrap up the talk right there. So in the UK, we're doing roundtable talks where we go into deprived communities where there is strong tension between police and disadvantaged youth. And this tension has been going on for generations, and it's broken down the trust. There is no trust between members of the community and the police force, those who are meant to serve and protect. So we've gone into these communities with the Ubuntu roundtables, and it's absolutely transformative. At the beginning of the sessions, you have police in one corner, and you have the young people in the other corner, and I'm looking like, what's going to happen? It just doesn't look safe. After engaging everybody in the Ubuntu values, you cannot tell them apart. Everybody is together, talking. We successfully get the young people to see beyond the uniform. and we get the police to see beyond the hoodies and beyond the youthfulness. This is the power of Ubuntu, right? It's powerful, so powerful. And each and every one of us, we are advocates of Ubuntu, right? It's in the air that you breathe, right? It's in the food that you taste. It's in the colors that you see. We are all connected. Everything is connected. So I want to say this. Because of you, I am. Because of you, I am. I am because of you. I am because of you. Because of you, I am. Because of you, I am. I am. I am. Because of you, I am. Because of you, I am. I am. I am. Give yourselves a massive round of applause. Thank you ever so much.
Nós aqui falando em Esperançar, há movimentos de Esperançar em todo o mundo, aqui nesta sala, também aqui presentes, mas felizmente não acaba só nesta sala, há muitas coisas que nos dão esperança em todo o mundo. O próximo orador vem do Brasil, é um inovador social, ele criou o projeto Transforma Brasil, que também serviu de inspiração para o projeto Transforma Portugal e impulsionou a primeira edição da Academia de Líderes Ubuntu no Brasil em 2019. Chamo aqui para o palco o Fábio Silva.
Obrigado. Aqui. Boa tarde, boa tarde, boa tarde. Eu não sei nem dançar, nem fazer agachamento. Eu acredito que um projeto como a Academia Ubuntu, ela é tão fundamental e tão inovadora nos dias de hoje, diante de tudo que foi falado aqui sobre as problemáticas do mundo, e eu gostaria de acrescentar ainda nesse plano macro o que tem acontecido na política brasileira, que só é possível, de fato, ser tão visionário ao ponto de fazer uma expansão global com tanto impacto e tanto engajamento, se alguém, de fato, é muito inovador. Então, não estamos falando sobre mais de 7, estamos falando sobre mais de 8. E, sem dúvida nenhuma, o meu amigo Rui Marques é uma dessas pessoas à frente do tempo. Isso é como um movimento, isso é como um ministério, isso é como um sopro que dá em momentos diferentes da estação da sociedade. Mas se falou muito do Rui aqui, muito do Rui aqui. E um ministério, um movimento, uma missão, sempre tem por perto gente muito importante do seu lado. E como o mundo atual é das mulheres, eu gostaria de fazer... Eu gostaria de fazer uma homenagem a Francisca e a Marta, que estão aqui, são família do Rui Marques. O grande amigo do Paulo Freire no Brasil se chama Ariano Suassuna. Ariano Suassuna é da minha terra, da minha cidade. E o Ariano tem um pensamento que diz assim: o otimista é um tolo, o pessimista um chato. Bom mesmo é ser um realista esperançoso. Projetos como esse são colocados de pé e foi falado aqui, eles precisam acontecer. Eu encontrei o Rui Marques num café. Eu lidero um projeto no Brasil que cuida de 25 mil líderes sociais. Nós estamos nos presídios, estamos nas favelas, estamos nas cidades ribeirinhas da Amazônia, no sertão nordestino. E quem cuida de muita gente precisa ser cuidado. E ao conversar com o Rui esteve no Brasil, começou a implantação da Academia Ubuntu para cuidar de quem cuida. Essas pessoas que servem demais, muitas vezes servem muito pouco a elas. E a Academia Ubuntu traz empatia, autocuidado, cuidado na alma, senso de pertencimento, trabalho na autoestima. Ou seja, diz para quem serve que ele serve. Hoje, esses líderes estão sendo cuidados por essa metodologia, por esse projeto, por esse autocuidado. Eu quero encerrar a minha fala dizendo para vocês que está valendo a pena. Está valendo a pena. Um evento como esse, todo o movimento de 400 escolas, milhares de voluntários engajados, envolvidos, alunos, necessidade de buscar financiamento, noites e noites e noites sem dormir para que tudo isso aconteça, está valendo a pena. Isso está valendo a pena. Não é mais sobre vocês. Não é mais sobre vocês. Existem coisas que transcendem tanto que já não são mais nossas. Nós fazemos parte delas, mas não são mais nossas. A Academia Ubuntu faz isso nas comunidades mais vulneráveis, nas escolas, na vida das pessoas, em comunidade, por uma sociedade mais justa, mais fraterna, mais empática, de paz. Eu queria lhe pedir que você pudesse fechar seus olhos agora. Eu não consigo ver se você está de olho fechado ou não, como a minha amiga há pouco. Mas enquanto você fecha seus olhos, eu gostaria de pedir que você imaginasse um mundo sem fome. Eu queria que você imaginasse um mundo com todas as crianças na escola. Eu queria que você imaginasse um mundo de paz. Eu queria que você imaginasse um mundo que o social e o capital pudessem andar juntos. É tão difícil que nasceu risada. Eu queria que você imaginasse a importância que você tem no mundo. Muito obrigado.
Dar a volta à tristeza, transformá-la num trunfo, é o que o nosso próximo convidado fez. Uma história, uma pessoa, um verdadeiro exemplo de resiliência e determinação. Ele vem da Serra Leoa, pronto para nos inspirar. Sam, it is an honor to be on your presence. Please come to the stage and inspire us. Sam Jalloh, everyone.
Good afternoon, Lisbon, and good afternoon, Ubuntu family, and good afternoon, everyone. It is such a great honor for me to be here today to talk to you all and to share my story and some of the life experience that I've been through. And today I would like to share with everybody here some very important life ingredients that have helped me through my life. And I do hope that what I'm going to share with you would also help you through your life journey. So the first ingredient that I want to share with you all today is that nothing in this world is impossible. As long as you have goals, you have dreams, you find your passion in something that you love, you go after it and never give up, the possibilities that you will create will be endless. I was born in one of the poorest communities of my country in Sierra Leone. I'm one of 11 children, born to parents who are extremely poor and uneducated. We live in a very, very old, rusty, corrugated house in the slum with no running water, no electricity, no television, no bed, absolutely nothing. Me and my siblings, we all slept on the bare floor with cardboards that my parents found on the dustbin. And every day, we survive on one meal. And for drinking water, we have to walk miles and miles away. And then when I was 6 years old, I got adopted into another family because my parents couldn't afford to look after myself and my siblings. So living with my adopted family was quite a big challenge because I was faced with constant punishment. I was getting beaten every day and extreme violence, to the point when I was 9 years old, I decided I've had enough, and then I ran away. And I was living on the streets. I became homeless, and I was moving from place to place. I became a fugitive in my own country. And whilst I was living on the streets, something terrible happened to Sierra Leone. The country took a very big turn, and then we had a break of civil war. And this war will go on to last for 11 years, taking the lives of over 500,000 people, and then sending about 2.5 million people as refugees worldwide. And whilst all this was going on in my country, living on the street, as a 9-year-old boy, I have a very, very big dream. And that dream was to become a very big tennis player. And I remember the first person that I went to tell my dream was my dad, to look for his moral support. And I said to him, I said, Dad, you know, I've seen this very wonderful sport, tennis. I want to play this tennis. I want to be a tennis champion. These were the words of my dad and his advice. And he said to me, he said, son, if I ever see you touch that rich white man's sport, I'm going to cut off all your fingers. And my dad wasn't joking. But I left my dad, I went away, I followed my dream, and I defied my dad. Even though at that time, I had no money, I have no rackets, I have no shoes. But the one thing that I have a sheer determination and passion that this sport I want to play. And then in 1998, on a February day, my best friend, who was like my superhero, he was like my guiding angel, because of the Civil War, and I was standing there right in front of him when he got shot more than 10 times with an AK-47. And I watched my best friend died. So when, yeah. So when people ask me what was the turning point in your life, it was that day that my best friend got shot in front of me. Because I remember seeing my mom standing there looking at me. She wasn't saying anything, but almost I can see in her face that she didn't want the same thing to happen to me. So I promised myself I'm going to continue to follow my dream and do everything it takes to become somebody better and to become successful. And then in December of 1998, after 7 years of trying, going back and forth, the war, with all the adversities, with all the struggles in the country, you know, living from place to place, I finally made it into the Sierra Leone junior national team. And when I made it to the team, the first person that I went to see was my dad again. And I went to him the day before I left Sierra Leone, and I said to him, I said, Dad, you know, tomorrow I'll be leaving this country. I'll be traveling to Ghana to play in the ITF Tennis Juniors. And the look on my dad's face, the shock, it's almost like I've told my dad I've just landed from the moon. I just couldn't believe it. And also to surprise my dad, they gave me over $250 as my allowances. And that kind of money was a lot of money for me as a kid. And then I took $50, which was more than 6 months of my dad's salary at that time. And I placed it on his palm. I said to him, Dad, this is for you. I can tell everybody here today, that was the first time my dad stood up. He gave me a big hug, and he told me, he said, son, I'm very proud of you. And he smiled, and we smiled together. And I was pretty certain that he wasn't going to cut my fingers, because up to today, I got them all. So anyway, after that, I continued to play for Sierra Leone until 2007, when I was called. I was in England when I was called, and the tennis president called me and said, Sam, the All-African game, which is the biggest sporting event, they host it every 4 years. It's in Algeria. We want you to go there. But not only that, we want you to be the flag bearer for Sierra Leone. And I remember the day for the open ceremony, I hold my Sierra Leone flag, and then we walk out into this tunnel and into the biggest stadium I've ever been in, over 60,000 people, with all this colorful African dress, with the flags and drums, and the most beautiful sporting event in my country, in my continent. And here I am thinking to myself, who would have thought a poor boy from the slum who was constantly told that because of my circumstances and my status, the possibility for me to become successful as a tennis player was limited. But I refuse to believe what people tell me. I follow my dreams and I never gave up. So that's why I'm standing here today to tell you my story. So not only that, after I finished playing tennis, I've gone on to coach some of the best tennis players in the world, including juniors. One of the players lost today to Novak Djokovic, Andrew Rublev, from Russia. And also, I've gone on to work with some top-level professionals, and now I'm a two-time published author with my autobiography and my new book that will be released called Can't Break the African Spirit. And then also, I've also won so many international awards and local awards, including the BBC Inspiration Award 2020, and also the Queen's Voluntary Service Award before she passed away. So, to come to the conclusion of my story, as I said to you before, I'm going to share some very important life ingredients. And the first ingredient I said was that nothing in this world is impossible. As long as you have dreams and goals, you believe in yourself, and never give up. Never, ever let anyone discourage you from your dreams. As long as you believe it, you follow it. Yeah. The possibilities that you will create will be endless. So the second ingredient I want to tell you is that, especially for you, the younger generation here, all of you here today, I just want to tell you guys that education is the most important thing for you if you want to be successful in this world we live in today. If you can take education seriously, create a meaningful life for yourself, make sure that you be part of a society that will make decisions in the future to help humanity, to help yourself. When you're educated, because I saw my parents were not educated and they struggle all their life. So take education seriously and make sure that you appreciate and thank the people who help you. And lastly, before we go, as the Ubuntu Leaders Academy, the word Ubuntu itself, which means humanity, as our young brother Kheron was saying before, because of you, that's why I'm here today. Without you, I wouldn't be standing here talking to myself. And with all of you, we can make this world a better place. And I want to remind everybody about something which I call the power of love, respect, care, appreciation, and empathy for others. Because if you look at this world, it doesn't matter whether you're from Africa, you're from North and South America, you're from Europe, you're from Asia or Australia, wherever you're from on this planet. Every human being in here today, as colorful and beautiful as everybody is, as Desmond Tutu said, we are a very, very special person. We are all classes under one name, and that name is human being. So we are all humanity at the end of the day. Regardless of our race, gender, religion, political views, whatever it is, our creation is so beautiful. So I encourage everybody here to continue to love, to follow the Ubuntu philosophy, that we must care for everyone. And also, I want to thank the Ubuntu Leaders Academy, especially Monica and everyone who have looked after me here. I've enjoyed my time here in Lisbon, and I'm sure I'll be coming back. I've had a lot of food, and I've met so many families, so everybody here is my family now. I've got brothers, sisters, uncle. Okay, to end the show, I just want to say thank you all very much, and I want to wish you the very best for the future. And I hope that this younger generation will go on to love, care, respect humanity so we can make this whole world a better place for you, for me, and for everyone. Ubuntu is the best thing that has happened to us, and let's take it together and make a change in the world. Thank you all. Obrigado. Thank you very much.